you doing today anyways?
Yeah, pretty good.
You look good. You look 76 years old. You look like
78 in March.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
78 in March.
Yeah, March 17th.
Oh, my God. Oh, St. Patty's birthday.
Yeah. I was born in West Roxbury, which is part of Boston, but it's out by the Dedham line. Unfortunately for me, when I was born, things started to go bad for our family, and my two oldest brothers went to live with my aunt and my grandmother, so it would be less of a burden on the family. But we moved out of the house we had in West Roxbury. We moved to a cold water flat in Roslindale, and things were pretty rough. You know, those were tough years. We really didn't. Most people didn't have much. Everyone was poor, and everyone was basically starving to death in those days. And all my brothers ended up in the service, and I was left at home. So Jimmy Ryan, who was a lieutenant on the Somerville Fire Department, and myself, I think we were about 13 or 14. We went down in the courthouse on Walnut Street, and that's where the draft board was, and we registered for the draft.
At 13 or 14 years
and the
old.
woman says, you boys don't look old enough. We said, oh, we said, okay, that's fine, but we were here, remember, we were here to register. She says, no, come back, you know.
Really?
We were telling her we were 18, you know.
Yeah.
So anyhow, to make a long story short, he ended up in the Army, and I ended up in the Marine Corps. I remember I got a real letter from my brother Norman, who was with Patton in an armored division, and he was over in, I believe he was in Europe at the time. And he told me, what are you doing? You know, you should be home with my mother and father and this and that. He really reamed me out for doing it. Well, I think that was the thing to do. I mean, I had three brothers that were all in the service.
Yeah.
So that I felt like I should be there with them, you know. Then when I got out of the service, I went back to work there. Just a great guy. And by that time, he was in the trucking business, and I was the second man there because I had started working for Fay when I was like 12 years old or so. It was after the war was over. It had to be like, I'm going to say around 56 or 57 or so. I finished, got my GED, then went on to college, you know. Yeah. Bloomberg Police School. And at that time, a police officer didn't really make enough money to support a family. I later on thought about the salary that I was going to get if I did become a police officer, and I said, "There's no way I could take a job like that because it didn't pay enough money."
Yeah.
I mean, no one believes you. Everyone's always innocent of this and that. I mean, we were no angels.